Hello. Hi. How are you guys doing? If you're new here, I'm Deb, and I talk about thoughts and ideas about life that have been swirling in my mind. So if that's something you're interested in and you tend to think a lot, then I would probably ask you to subscribe. So, yeah, let's get started. Today I want to talk about happiness. Oh no, what? So today I want to talk about money and how money cannot buy happiness. Yes, money cannot buy happiness. Why? I'm going to talk about 4 chapters, and all the chapters are divided so you can see what I'm talking about, right? What is money? Money is just a medium we use to get things, right? To show that money has no inherent value, I'm going to ask you to imagine a situation where leaves are our new currency. Yes. So, to get anything in this world, you now have to have leaves. If you have 5 leaves, then you have $5. Do you know what's going to happen? Everybody would be going around scrambling to collect leaves because now you need leaves for everything. Suddenly, leaves are going to be super important and money would mean nothing. Nobody's going to cut down trees because now you need leaves to buy stuff. Although I think we all pretty much inherently know that this is the case, we tend to forget about it and we think that money itself is great, whereas money is nothing. It's just a medium that we all have agreed upon. It's a medium that we agree is gonna be worth something. It's not worth if we don't think it's not worth anything. Money is a means to an end. It's not the end itself. The medium could change anytime. I mean, you guys remember barter system, right? Money is a means to an end, and the medium could change anytime. So what remains the same is our needs and desires. Which brings me to my second point. Nothing has any value. To think about it, think, where does happiness come from? Does it come from the things that we're getting, or does it come from the satisfaction? For example, if you only have $10 to your name and somebody gives you $1,000, you're going to be ecstatic, right? You are going to love it. It's going to be a miracle for you. You're going to feel like life is worth it. But for somebody else who makes, let's say, $100,000 a week, for them, $1,000 is not going to make any difference. It's chump change for them, and it's not going to have an impact. And it's not going to make them the same amount of happy that it makes the other person who is broke. So, nothing has value on its own. Do you see that? Everything is made up. We decide the value of everything. Let's say, think about a glass of water. Someone who's thirsty and just finished a workout, let's say, for them, a glass of water is really valuable. It's extremely valuable to them. But someone who just drank a gallon of water, for them, it might not be the same thing. It might even be causing them discomfort thinking about drinking that water. So the value of the water isn't inherent. It depends on the situation of the person and their need. And the same thing goes about with food and almost everything else. This idea applies to everything we can and do own. It is only valuable because we consider it valuable. Now, why do we find some things valuable and some things don't? And what is even valuable then? What is intrinsically valuable? Well, the answer is nothing. I don't think anything is intrinsically valuable. Well, think about it. Everything that you want, you were somehow conditioned to want that thing. If we were born in the 1800s, we would want different things right now. Our desires would be completely different than they are today. Then why is that so? Because back in the day, we would be conditioned to want and need different things. So we are basically bamboozled and cheated and lied to. As a human species, we didn't realize that we could also be dumb, extremely dumb. And that's what happened. We started wanting dumb things, and then we conditioned a whole species to want things that do not matter at all. Things that keep you in the loop of unhappiness actually. It's funny because we want things that are absurd. If nothing is inherently valuable, why do we care about things? And what are the things that we actually care about? How do we know it? So, chasing money or chasing something that someone else has told you to do because you might gain something from it is not the right way. You need to really figure out what brings you true joy and satisfaction beyond just money or a medium. And why force ourselves to buy things that we don't even want and is never going to give us the happiness? I remember when I was a kid, I really wanted that PSP only because my cousin had it. I swear to God, I never wanted it. I didn't need it at all. And as soon as I got it, I was like, wow, so much for this? So I realized that it was just underwhelming. The whole experience of having it was underwhelming. So I think true happiness comes from really knowing the actual you and what you want. We often want things that we see other people have and want, and we expect to gain the same amount of happiness when we achieve it. But the truth is that everybody has different parameters for happiness, and everybody has a different outlook of what happiness looks like. Things cannot bring us actual satisfaction. And this is why when we follow the crowd, we get stuck in this loop of wanting something that we think is going to make us happy and working towards it only for it to disappoint. So, how to stop it? My suggestion would be to just start with a clean palette. Start with a clean palette, reinvent yourself, and really think what is valuable. You gotta be mindful of your habits and what you're doing, and you have to understand and figure out what truly makes you happy. Because I'm just gonna say it, we barely know ourselves. We know ourselves as a species, but do you know you? Do you know the you that is looking at me right now? Do I know the me? My God, it took me so long to even understand the simple things that I liked. And I realized that I don't want a lot of things that I wanted as a kid because I was just conditioned to think I wanted it. I was conditioned to think I was going to be super happy, but I wasn't. It didn't give me happiness. It's like eating that chocolate that you know you're going to love, but it's just bitter when you taste it. There was this research study called the Hedonic Treadmill, a study done in 1978. So they compared a couple of lottery winners with people who didn't win a lottery. What they found was that lottery winners were found to be not more happy than the other group that did not win the lottery. And their happiness was actually lower. It was about, 4 out of 5? And the people who didn't win the lottery, for them, it was 4.05 out of 5. So it was the happiness scale of some sort. So this study just showed that it was this indication towards that positive and negative changes have less impact on long-term happiness than we think. We think we're going to get happy, but we don't. I think we should start with a blank slate and try everything. This is a funny little story, but I never tried beans and tomatoes. I was always a picky eater. I still am. And as a child, I never had tomatoes or cucumbers or anything actually. But then recently, yes, just recently, I tried this new sandwich and my God, tomatoes, like finely chopped tomatoes, just changed the whole. It's a different ball game. I was like, what the hell? Why did I miss this? It was just, I was so shocked. I was like, wow, I love tomatoes. I mean, not really, I guess, but then I loved it in the sandwich. I think we don't know who we are. We need to just start again. We need to start by thinking what we actually did and learn from the beginning again. So money cannot buy you happiness. Things cannot buy you happiness. Nothing can buy you happiness. Because happiness is all about what's within you. It can never come from something that's outside. And I keep saying this, and the more I talk about it, the more It even shocks me. Obviously, as humans, we want to see the results, we want to see practical, materialistic outcomes of stuff. But when I really think about it, we don't want the thing, we don't get any happiness from the thing. We have happiness from the knowledge, right? We have no clue what we're doing, and we're just doing everything and making as much money as we can so we can buy everything and test everything out to become the happiest we can ever be. But maybe we can never be the happiest with these things. Maybe more is more. And the more we get, the more confused we get, the more we get into this paradox of choice. Now, you don't know if you want a Lamborghini or a Range Rover. And trust me, none of that is going to make you happy. None. I mean, we all know about the marginal utility, right? The more bananas we eat, the less we're gonna like the banana. Have we forgotten about that? Things and money, it's all arbitrary. We decide on what's valuable. It's nothing is valuable if you don't think it is. Someone could come up to me right now and be like, "Oh my god, like I'm the best because I make $2 million every second." But if I was someone who wasn't impressed by money, that wouldn't do anything for me. You see, everything is relative to what we care about. So, anything and everything that you think you care about, you only think you do because other people seem to care about that. But we have to remember that people can be dumb. People are just dumb. Why do we always assume that people make smart choices and everything that our society has done is smart? We have been lied to. How do you know? We don't know. We think this is the right way because that's how we have come to live. But what if it's all wrong? And maybe it is. Maybe it is wrong because only now I'm realizing it's all bullshit. None of these things make me happy. None of these things are actually worth it. You try to do these things for others or whoever, I don't know, and it just leaves you unfulfilled. There's small things you can find happiness in. Recently, I've started cooking a lot, and I think I'm really enjoying it. Although I'm not cooking, but it's beautiful because you can get happiness in a very simple way by just eating some good food. And that's it. It's that easy. I just want good food. You don't have to have everything because it's not going to have any impact on your long-term happiness. Does that make sense? So in conclusion, money can absolutely not buy happiness. Money cannot buy anything. It only buys stuff because we all collectively agreed that money can buy stuff. It means nothing. And I think we all know it, but we tend to forget it. And sometimes we just need a slap on the wrist and be like, stop hustling. What are you doing? Like, nobody cares.